A few months ago, I sat down with the sales leader of a solar financing company. Great mission, strong team, doing genuinely good work in the community. But when I asked him how business was going, he said, "We're working harder than ever, but we're not seeing the growth we should." Sound familiar? Here's what I discovered. They weren't missing effort. They weren't missing passion. They were missing clarity. And that gap between good work and great growth is costing mission-driven businesses millions in unrealized potential. I'm Jason Hager, and this is Grayleaf Media, the podcast for leaders who believe profit and purpose don't have to be at odds. Let me tell you who this podcast is not for. It's not for people chasing the next growth hack. It's not for businesses willing to sacrifice their values for quick wins. It's not for leaders who think marketing is just posting on social media. This podcast is for mission-driven businesses that can seem stuck or stagnant. Leaders who care deeply about the impact they're making. Companies doing legitimately good work but struggling to tell that story. Organizations that know they're capable of more but can't figure out what's holding them back. If that's you, stay with me. Here's why I'm the person to guide you through this. I've spent years building marketing operations, brand strategies, and growth systems from the ground up. I've worked with companies in finance, law, sports, and more. I've built CRM systems, automated compliance processes, led brand transformations, and driven strategic initiatives that actually moved the needle. But more importantly, I've seen the pattern. I've watched good companies stay small because they couldn't articulate their value. I've seen mission-driven founders work themselves to exhaustion because they didn't have the right strategy. And I've learned how to fix it. Here's what most mission-driven businesses get wrong. They think if they just work hard enough, do good enough work, and care enough about their customers, growth will naturally follow. But here's the truth. Good work is table stakes. It's necessary, but it's not sufficient. The gap between good work and great growth comes down to three critical disconnects. The three disconnects are: 1. The clarity gap. You know what you do, but can your ideal customer explain it to someone else in one sentence? If not, you have a clarity problem. Brief example. I worked with a company that had 7 different ways of describing what they did. Their team was confused, their customers were confused, and their growth was stalled. Number 2, the systems gap. You're doing the work manually that should be systematized. You're spending time on tasks instead of strategy. You're reacting instead of building. Mission-driven businesses often resist corporate systems because they feel impersonal. But systems don't kill your soul. They free you to do more of what matters. And 3, the positioning gap. You're trying to serve everyone, so you're resonating with no one. Or you're so humble about your impact that nobody understands why they should choose you over the competition. Being mission-driven doesn't mean being invisible. It means being crystal clear about who you serve and why you're the best choice for them. These disconnects don't just slow growth. They burn out founders, frustrate teams, and leave money on the table that could be funding more impact. You're working twice as hard for half the results, and you think it's because you're not trying hard enough. But it's not about effort. It's about strategy. Over the course of this podcast, we're going to give you tools to help close those gaps. Episodes will contain helpful wisdom, strategies, and stories, including strategic frameworks you can actually use, real stories from mission-driven businesses navigating growth, tactical advice on marketing, operations, and positioning, conversations with founders, strategists, and operators who've been where you are, and more. Some episodes will be solo deep dives like this one. Others will be interviews with people doing the work. All of them will be focused on one thing: helping you grow without compromising what makes your business matter. What makes this different? I'm glad you asked. This isn't a podcast about vanity metrics or viral content. It's not about crushing it or scaling to 8 figures in 90 days. This is about sustainable, strategic growth for businesses that actually want to be the change. It's about building something that lasts, serves real people, and creates meaningful impact, while also making enough money to keep the lights on and pay your team well. Before we wrap, I want to give you something practical you can do this week. I call it the Clarity Audit, and it takes about 30 minutes. Here's how it works. Step 1. The one-sentence test. Write down in one sentence what your business does and who it's for. No jargon, no industry buzzwords, just clear language. Then ask 3 people on your team separately to do the same thing without looking at your answer. If all 3 answers are roughly the same, congratulations, you have clarity. If they're different, you found your first gap. And by the way, if you don't have a team because you're a solopreneur, that's fine. Ask your closest fans who you ask advice for, who have a good insight into what your business is about. Step 2, the customer explanation test. Ask your last 3 customers, if you were explaining our business to a friend, what would you say? Listen carefully. If they struggle, or if their explanation doesn't match yours, that's your positioning gap showing up. Step 3, the systems check. Make a list of every repetitive task you or your team did this week. Circle the ones that took more than 30 minutes and could be automated or systematized. That's your systems gap, and likely where hours of productive time are disappearing. Do this audit, and you'll immediately see which gap is costing you the most. And once you see it, you can start fixing it. Here's what I want you to remember. If you're a mission-driven business struggling to grow, it's not because you're not good enough. It's not because your mission doesn't matter. It's because good work and great growth require different skill sets, and most founders are never taught the strategy side. That's what we're here to fix. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear from you. Connect with me on LinkedIn at Grayleaf Media's company page. Check out grayleafmedia.com, where you can contact me via contact form, or shoot us a message on Threads, Instagram, or Facebook. Tell me what gap you're struggling with most: clarity, systems, or positioning. I read every message. Thanks for listening. Let's close the gap between your good work and your great growth. Once again, this is Grayleaf Media, GREYLEAF MEDIA.